Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And a very good morning to all of the participants for this morning. First of all, I would like to greet our program advisor, Miss Siti Nabila binti Ismail, the main board of the program, our honorable speaker for this morning, Sister Hanna binti Huda, and to all of you. So, Alhamdulillah, we are grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for His grace and love that we can gather together in this online session. It is my pleasure as your MC for today to welcome all of you on the talk of about cybersecurity awareness on this wonderful morning. So, brothers and sisters, to bless our program this morning, first let us all pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala so that everything we get in this program brings barakah and benefits to all of us as well as other human beings. With that, I would like to invite Brother Taufiq to recite the dua. فَلْيَتَفَضَّلْ مَشْكُورًا.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Al-Fatihah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Wassalatu wassalam ala asyrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Allahumma ja'al jam'ana hadha jam'an mubarakan marhuma wa tafarruqana min ba'dihi tafarruqan ma'suma. ولا تجعل اللهم فينا ولا معنا شقيا ولا محروما ربنا عليك توكلنا وإليك أنبنا وإليك المصير اللهم طول أعمارنا وصحح أجسادنا وثبت إيماننا ووسع أرزاقنا وحسن أخلاقنا ونور قلوبنا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين اللهم اجعلنا من أهل الخير وجعلنا من أهل البركة وجعلنا من أهل المغفرة اللهم اجعلنا من أهل الجنة وجعلنا من أهل الفردوس الأعلى برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين اللهم اجعل مجلسنا هذا مجلسا مباركا لأصحابنا وأهلنا وجيراننا وضيوفنا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين والحمد لله رب العالمين.
Ameen, Ameen, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Thank you, Brother Tawfiq, for the dua recitation. Brothers and sisters, our program on this glorious morning is entitled Cybersecurity Awareness. Before we begin, let us get to know our great speaker for today because there is the saying that goes, tak kenal maka tak cinta. The name given is Sister Hanna binti Huda. For your information, Sister Hanna is a fourth year student of Bachelor of Information Technology at the International Islamic University, Malaysia. So it seems that everyone is looking forward to gain knowledge this morning. But before that, allow me to make a few announcements. First of all, ensure that your mics are muted unless we have a Q&A session later on, in which at the end of the talk, we'll have a 20-minute Q&A session. So if you have any questions, if you have any concerns regarding the topic, you're welcome to ask during the Q&A session. Whether you choose to unmute your mics and ask directly, or you may post the questions in the comments section. All questions will be answered by our speaker at the end of our live session. That's number one. Number two, after the end of the Q&A session, we will be having a game session, which is a Kahoot game for 10 minutes. Therefore, I would like to invite all of our participants to join the Kahoot session. Make sure you take note whatever that will be delivered by Sister Hannah later on because exciting prizes are waiting for you. So without further ado, it's now time to continue our program. Let us welcome Sister Hannah to give a talk on cybersecurity awareness. Sister Hannah, the floor is yours.
All right. Thank you, Sister Shasha, for the wonderful opening. Assalamualaikum and good morning, everyone. I'm very delighted to be here with all of you. All right. So before we start, let me share my screen first. So you should be able to see my screen now. Can you see it? Can everybody see? Okay, thank you.
Yes.
So in today's session, I'll be talking about cybersecurity awareness, specifically on data and cloud security. So I would like to make this session interactive between me and participants. So you are allowed to answer my question or give suggestion, and we should have two ways of communication in this talk. So feel free to make comments on the chat section. Right, sorry. So I will introduce myself again. My name is Hannah binti Huda. I'm the 4th year student in KICT and majoring in Bachelor of Information Technology. I'm also specialized in Business Intelligence and Analytics, and also the head of Special Interest Group Cybersecurity under ICTSS, ICT Student Society. So let's get into it. First of all, what is data? Data is numerical and textual facts and figures that are collected through some type of measurement process. So, which means like if you have data, data is general terms for every little information that you can have, such as names or gender and something like that. And David McCandless, one of the journalists, mentioned that data is, he mentioned this in one of his TED Talk, that data is the new soil, not the new oil. So just like soil, data has to be tilled, nurtured and put to work to deliver results. So just having a data is actually, it's not nothing, but if you have the data without knowledge, the data is, they have no value to it. So you have to have the knowledge to nurture the data to deliver results later. So personal data. Personal data is any information that can identify a person, that can identify yourself, such as name, your IC number or passport number, your email address, image, home address, telephone number, and also date of birth. This personal data is, you should always remember that this personal data is important to be secured, because if a person gets your telephone number, she or he can actually get your name and also home address. So one data connected to each other. By having your email address, people can actually gain another information of you. So before we going deep into data and cloud security, I would like to introduce what is security in general. So security in general is a protection of a person, building, organization, or country against threats such as crimes or attacks. There are three principles of organization security infrastructure. We call this CIA triad. This CIA triad is to keep sensitive data protected from any unauthorized access and data breach. So confidentiality ensures that your data is accessed only by authorized individuals. And integrity ensures that your information is reliable as well as accurate. And then the next one is availability. Availability ensures that data is both available and accessible to satisfy business needs. So you should have your, the data should be available and accessible whenever you want to use it. And there's another one is non-repudiation. I'm not going into that. So now having that idea of security, the general one, we integrate that idea into digital. We call it cybersecurity. So what is cybersecurity? Cybersecurity is the application of technologies that process and controls to protect the system, network, programs, devices, and data from cyber attacks. There are a lot of challenges in cybersecurity, but I listed out a few here. As you can see on the screen, we are having challenges in network security, application security, data security, mobile security, database and infrastructure security, and cloud security. As I mentioned earlier, I will only explain on the data and cloud security. Okay, so now we have data, our personal data. How do we protect our data? We call it data protection, where it is a practice to safeguard our personal information and ensure that we remain control of our data. This is everybody's responsibility in each individual. So example of this practice is privacy policies and terms and conditions. I believe everybody knows what is terms and condition, right? So I have a question for everyone. You can answer this on the chat section. Have you ever read the terms and condition before agreeing? If yes, please write yes on the channel. Let's do some quick survey. If no, right now, I'll give you 1 minute to answer. It's too wordy. Sometimes yes, always no. Yes, sometimes maybe. So I can say it's 50-50. Some of you read it and some of you didn't read it. So, all right. Well, actually, I didn't read it too, but I have the experience of reading it before. I am the 50-50 one. Sometimes I read it because I have more times to read it, and because I'm bored, and most of the time because of my assignment that I need to read some terms and condition based on each organization. So, well, guys, we should actually read the terms and condition. So now, let's see one of the example from Celcom Malaysia. This is the terms and condition by Celcom. So Celcom mentioned here, knowledge is power. Of course, if you have the knowledge, you know what is the impact of your what happened if you didn't read the terms and condition and all. So that's a lot of word, right? Even though I only screenshot a little bit of it, but it's still a lot of word. But no worries, I've got you covered. We are going to focus on point number 7, personal information. So can anyone tell me, I'll give you a few seconds to read all the points here, or the points number 7. Can anyone tell me what is the keyword that is important here? Just one keyword, one word. You may answer it. There's no right or wrong in this session, just shoot any word. Yeah. Okay, that's correct. Thank you, Mashara, Sister Mashara. So the keyword is consent. You are giving consent. By agreeing this, you agree by using the services and app that you are giving your consent for your information to be disclosed according to Celcom's privacy notice. So by giving consent, you cannot sue Celcom later if one day you figure out that they are selling your data. Well, I guess it's fair because you agreed to it. So why would you want to sue them, right? You already give them you already agree. You said you can do anything with my data. It's legal for Celcom to use your data. So they mentioned privacy notice here. Let's see what is the privacy notice that they say. So this is the privacy notice mentioned earlier. As you can see here, Celcom is collecting your full name, identity card and passport number, address, credit debit details, and payment history. And don't be surprised, they also collected your mobile phone location only if you give access for them to do so. If you can recall, whenever you install new application into your phone, they will actually pop up some message which they need to access your contacts or maybe location, and you may answer yes and no. So if you answer yes, Celcom will be able to locate your mobile phone. All right, now they collected your data. So what now? What did Celcom do with your data? We'll look at this. So when they collected our data? They collected our data from the subscription of Celcom products and usage of Celcom products. Okay, how do you know that they collected it? So this the terms and condition that I give here is focusing on their Celcom Life app. If you are using Celcom Life app and you are a prepaid user, they actually offered a personalized deals under Just For Me. So if you don't know, this is the Just For Me section in Celcom Life app. This is mine and this is my brother's. So you can see the deals are different. based on our previous subscription. As you can see here, mine is cheaper. The deals that they are offering me is cheaper compared to my brothers, but the internet data that the deals is different, as you can see. For example, the third one, they gave me 5 gig hotspot, 3 Mbps, valid for 3 days for 2 ringgit. But for another user, my brother, Celcom actually gave 3.4 gig, valid for 3 days for 5 ringgit. It is different based on our subscription. They collected our activities, our pattern, what we usually buy and subscribe to. So this is personalized, means they analyze your data, your previous data. And most importantly, how what they do with our data is Celcom will share our data with third party, which we have no idea about it. It can be government or some startup company, or maybe, I don't know, some maybe scammers, we don't know, right? So it can be any parties. Have you ever wondered where MKN or government, we all receive some message from MKN. So where did government get our contact number? So I own two phone numbers, and I receive MKN message in both of my numbers. Most of the government forms, I fill up only one phone numbers. So that means like two telco company is actually sharing my data with the government. So they have my phone numbers, all the phone numbers that is registered under my name, right? Next, data security. Data security is a practice and technology to protect our digital information. What I mean by digital information here is our device information, our username and password of our device, and it can also be our network identifier, such as internet protocol. Internet protocol is like our home address, but it is the address of our device. So we should protect all this data from unauthorized access, corruption, and also theft throughout its entire life cycle. So data have their own life cycle. Based on the law, based on PDPA of Malaysia, PDPA is Personal Data Protection Act. Malaysia, they actually have the life cycle for each data. How many years did the organizations actually allowed to save to keep our data? So for example, they need to register PDPA, and they can keep our data for 10 years only. After 10 years, they need to dispose our data in a good manner, something like maybe for hard copy, shredding the papers, and maybe burn it. They cannot simply throw it away in the dustbin just like that. They need to shred the papers and actually delete it from this world. If they didn't do that, it's actually they have the impact on the PDPA later. Okay, so type of data security. I'll just go through the list now, and I'll explain it later. So the first one is authentication, access control, backups and recovery, encryption, data masking, tokenization, deletions and erasure. So I will only touch on the first four. The data masking, tokenization and deletions will not be covered in this session, okay? Because it's too much of technical terms. So just a brief on the definition of the security controls. So first, authentication. Authentication, or you can call it login, is to verify your identification as a user. It is usually your username and password. So next, access control. Access control is the control of giving access permission to your account or data. I think everyone is, the next one, I think everyone is familiar with backups and recovery. So backups and recovery is a storing activity to your physical storage, such as hard disk or pen drive, and it can also be stored in cloud too. Next is encryption. Encryption is the process of hiding content using key concept. You can write hello friend and it can be encrypted into something else, maybe a combination of numbers and alphabets so other people cannot see the actual message. Alright. So I'm going to use WhatsApp for the example of all the data security controls I've mentioned just now. So as you can see from this image, if you can recall when the first time you log into your WhatsApp or when you first registered your WhatsApp number, you actually need to verify your number through SMS message. WhatsApp will send an SMS message to verify your phone number. This is to verify that you are using your own number, not another person's numbers. So if you have no idea about this, actually you will receive PIN numbers or code to proceed. You need to enter a 5 or 6 PIN numbers to proceed into WhatsApp, into using WhatsApp. All right, and recently WhatsApp introduced two-step verification. I'll get into two-step verification later, but for now, two-step verification is it's like a second how do I say it? Second passcode before you enter your WhatsApp. So if you have entered the PIN numbers earlier, then you need to enter another PIN number which you have enabled here. You can set in your own passcode. So next is WhatsApp access control. So access control that you can find in WhatsApp is admin access control in a group, where admin has the power to make someone a group admin or to remove someone from being an admin. They also can add and remove members. And WhatsApp also introduced a new feature where group admin have the authority to choose who can send a message. So this is a brief how you want to understand what is access control. Next one is backups and recovery. We are all familiar with WhatsApp, so I think you guys know that WhatsApp, if you didn't change the setting, if it's on default, so WhatsApp will actually back up your chats every day at 2 a.m. So at 2 a.m. they will back up all your message on that day and store it on Google Drive, in Google Drive. So by having backups, you can recover your chats if you change your phone or you have a new device. So if you never back up your chats, you will not be able to get your media and your chats lah kan. So this is you can see this screen, this page when you log into new device. If you change your handphone, WhatsApp will let you restore your message and media from the previous one. So you can skip and download it later, or you can proceed without having downloading the backups. So you will have a brand new WhatsApp. WhatsApp encryption. So this is the example of WhatsApp encryption where it secures our conversation from any third parties. This one, your message and calls are secured with end-to-end encryption, which means WhatsApp and third parties cannot read or listen to them. So this is very important because if there's no encryption, maybe some other people, other parties will be able to read your WhatsApp, and maybe listen to your voice call and video call, access to your camera, something like that. All right. So next is cloud. Cloud is in computing, in digital world. Cloud is made up of servers in data centers all over the world. So nowadays, people choose cloud service provider compared to physical data centers. This is because cloud is less how do I say, tak mahal, less expensive. Okay, sebab because if you have physical data centers, you actually need to set up your if you know data centers is a lot of is a room, a lot of database, and if you set up that room, you need to have a proper environment for the database. You need to have a proper temperature. So there's a lot of money to actually setting up the infrastructure for data centers. So people choose cloud service where they only have to pay for the service compared to the physical space. Cloud security. So having cloud, just like before this, having data, we need a data protection. So having cloud, we need a cloud security protection. So the cloud security is protection of data stored online via cloud computing platforms from theft, leakage, and deletion. So because it is cloud, so it is a bit vulnerable. Vulnerable is a bit risky because people can get in and get your data. There are three types of primary clouds environment. So the first one is public cloud service. It is generally accessible through web browsers. For instance, Amazon Web Services, and I believe every IIUM student is familiar with Microsoft Azure. It is one of the cloud service provided by IIUM to us students. And then Google Cloud, and not to forget Google Drive, which we use in our daily life. And then private clouds. Private clouds is usually dedicated and accessible to only a single organization. So the example of this service is VMware. VMware is a virtual machine. So it's like you are having two computers, but actually you only own one, but you have a virtual machine in the cloud. So next, hybrid clouds is the third one, the combination of public and private clouds. Okay, cloud security challenges. So just like everything else, there are challenges that cloud computing has to face. For example, here, malware and external attack. Malware is a malicious software such as virus or virus. And then external attacks and insider threats. Insider threats mean someone from the organization. From the insider or from the inside organization, the people from the same organization. And then data breach, visibility into cloud data. Just like I mentioned before, everybody can get into your cloud if you didn't secure the cloud. And also disaster recovery, where organization actually needs to come up with a recovery plan if what happened if your cloud get attacks or get the first and the second one, the malware and insider. So an organization should have a recovery plan, how to back up their all their data and information kept in that cloud. So they should also have physical data backup, something like that. Yeah, they have clouds, but the important files should be kept in physical backups too. So another one is access to cloud data and storage. Yeah, this access to cloud data and storage is just like the access control I mentioned earlier. And then how to secure your data in Google Drive. So first of all, you can do a security checkup. You can, let me share this. This is the security checkup by Google. If you want to, can you see my screen? Are you seeing this slide or the security checkup?
Security checkup.
All right. So if you want to check yours, you can go to this link. I shared the link on the chat. So this is how you check your account. So right now I have 21 compromised password. So you can go into it, uh, what is wrong with this. You can see the details of it. And they also tell you about the third party access to your data and all the information you have for your Google. You can get a personalized security recommendations for your Google account. Each people will receive differently. And then the second one is account recovery options. I think everyone know that we have recovery phone number and email address. When if you have, let me show. It's not here. Okay, it's okay. We actually have recovery phone number. So what this recovery phone number and email address can do is you can block someone from accessing your account without permission. If you remember, if you log into your account in maybe photocopy printer shop or something, you have to sometimes Google will ask you, do you log into a new device, something like that kan? So that is the function of recovery phone number. Oh sorry, it's something like that. Have you ever macam you receive alert when you sign into another device? So that's how Google are securing our data. Google will make sure we know what is happening with our account, even if it's by you. You need to verify that it is you who log into a new devices. So having these alerts, you will know if there's any suspicious activity. And the next one is two-factor authentication. Helps prevent a hacker from getting into your account, even if they steal your password, because it's two-factor. So authentication is like a gate, your main gate at your home. You have main gate, and then you have the second one, the grill. We call it grill, right? Yang dekat pintu tu. So the first one is your main gate, and the second one is your grill, and then baru ada pintu, the wooden door or anything you have in your house. So it's like two-factor authentication, ada dua gate. So even if a hacker can get through your main gate, they have to get through another grill. So it's like that if you want to imagine it. So this features is to avoid hacker from getting into your account, and also to avoid common phishing techniques. So this one, Google actually give you an option. Oh sorry, two-step verifications where you can receive codes, some numbers. I believe everyone has experienced this. If you turn on your two-step verification, you will actually receive SMS codes whenever you want to log into new device. Okay, so next, remove risky access to your data. To have a better protection for your sensitive information, you need to always consider removing account access for any non-essential apps. So this one, you can see what is your, so this is for my account, apps with access to your account, third-party apps which have access to my account. So Google is telling me that this third party is having my, for example, this one, this app can create, edit and delete my Google Play Games activity. And also for like this one, Google will tell you what each of these what apps can do to your account. So from Google Forms, they can see, edit, share and permanently delete all calendars activities. So you can see it here. And if you see something that you haven't used for ages. So just remove the access. So if you remove the access, then maybe you can be more secure from any threats. And Google will tell you what your sign in activity with Google, all the apps. So you can always check your Google account to protect your information from being used from data breach. And then the number 5 is turn on screen locks. Before this, I used to be a person who didn't use any screen locks because I was having a thought of what happened if I got into an accident and people cannot reach my family because my phone is locked. So I was having that unnecessary thoughts. But nowadays, we use our phone for everything. We kept everything in our phone, right? So it is very important to lock our devices. Screen locks will help us protect our device from being used without our permission, especially smartphones and tablets. So you can use any types of locks such as screen locks such as PIN, pattern, password, fingerprint, and also Face ID. Nowadays, not only iPhone, even Android have Face ID. So always use screen locks because you never know what if you lost your phone. So you never know what is the person who take your phone will do, right? And then use strong unique password. It is risky to use the same password across multiple sites. So if your password, why is it risky? Because if one of the, for example, maybe your Facebook password is being stolen, so that person can gain access to your another account if you are using the same password for everything. So later I will explain how to create a good and strong unique password. So this is the permissions in Google Drive where you can call this the access control tool. So if you are the owner of documents or files or folders, we actually have the authority to choose which type of permissions settings that we would like to give others. So I'm pretty sure you are aware of this. So as you can see here, only restricted settings is private. The other 3 is public. So for example, if you want to share a document, maybe your report you want to share with your lecturers, so you want her or him to comment, just share it as commenters. Don't let him or her be the editor because you don't want to let anybody to edit your documents, right? So please choose the right settings for each time you want to share your files because it's very important. So maybe you are that kind of person that is very kind who shares your assignment with other people. So if you really want to share, just share it as a viewer so they cannot edit your assignment, but they can still copy your assignment. All right, so you can see for restricted is only for people added. That means, right, people who are you can actually add email address for the sharing, right? So it's only for that people. And then viewer is for everyone who has the link, and commenter is okay, these 3 is the same. Everyone who has the links can view or comment and edit. So only for the editor they can download your they can download and change permissions to your document. All right, since we have done with data and cloud security, so right now we are going to talk about cybersecurity best practices that you can do in your daily life. So the first one, protect your data. So in daily life, how we want to protect our data is to avoid sharing your personal data. Personal data, as I mentioned earlier, your name, your IC number, your home address, email address, and etc. So you need to avoid sharing personal identifiable information, which means any information that can identify you, you should keep it secured. So for example, when answering an email or phone call or text message, it is important for you to exercise caution of sharing your information. So you have to keep in mind that cyber criminals can create email address and websites that look legitimate. It may looks like your bank provider, your telco provider, but it is not. So you need to always check on the how do I say, the legitimacy of the sender. The sender. Yeah, you are a receiver, right? So scammers can also fake caller ID information. So maybe scammers can calls you and they can make it appear some name, maybe government numbers on your phone screen, but it's actually scammers. So you need to check on that. And then hackers can even take over company social media accounts and send seemingly legitimate message. So before sharing anything, even your full name, you need to make sure the legitimacy of the person or organization that you want to provide your personal information. And the second one, avoid pop-ups, unknown mails, and links. So this is to keep you safe from phishing. Phishers or scammers, in IT we call it phishing because it is the same as phishing activity in real life. So they always try to trick you into click on a link that may result in security breach. So you should always pay attention before entering personal information connected to the previous points. You have to make sure the URL let me show you example. Maybank. You should always check for these links. Make sure they have S. S is for secure. It is mean that this is secured website. So you can also check the link using VirusTotal. We have VirusTotal here. So for example, you can check the URL. It is clean, so that means that Maybank to you has no virus. If you want to check it, you can go to here. Alright, so I don't have any link that is scammer's link, but actually if you have any links that you are not sure if it's secure or not, you can check this in VirusTotal first. You can actually upload file, check the URL, or you can search anything from the domain name. Domain name is this one, the name of the website. And then let's continue. So strong password. So strong password and authentication. You need to always change your social media accounts, any accounts, password monthly. You need to change it and update your password regularly. Randomize them. You should include numbers, alphabets, special characters. Special characters is like the characters if you see on your keyboard, the characters above the numbers. It's like the alias, hashtag, ampersand, and asterisk, something like that. You should combine it with numbers and alphabet. So most importantly, do not repeat your password. And do not use your names or birthdays in your password. Or other than that, you can use password manager such as password safe, dash lane or LastPass, so they can help you generate your password. Actually, if you are using Mozilla, they have that feature. So for example, how do I show it? On for example, if I want to how do I change my screen? Yeah. Oh, sorry, I cannot show it. But you can check your password here using password kaspersky.com. Share with you. So you can test your password. So for example, if I use password using my name, you can check how long will it take for a hacker to hack into your account. So your password will be brute force with an average home computer in approximately 8 hours. So this is, people can do it within a minute if they have the knowledge on how to do the brute force. Brute force is actually an activity you are just trial and error for someone's password. So for example, if you actually combine all the characters that I've mentioned earlier. So for example, IIUM 1, 2, sorry, IIUM 1, 2, 7, maybe. Oh, it's only 4 months. Okay, let me change another ones. So if I want to use my name, which is not secured, I can actually do something like this. It will take 33 years. So you can try your own password. Just try any password, but yep. If you include your date of birth, it is not secured because just like before, if your personal identity is how do you say, you lost your I mean, people can get your data. So if they have your data, maybe you usually put your password something like maybe Hannah, my birth date maybe 2109. You only use your name and your birth date. In 6 minutes, people can get into your account. So you can check this one. All right, let's get back to the slide. Connect to secure Wi-Fi. So you need to always be wary of free Wi-Fi because anyone else in the same network could be eavesdropping in your online activity. So where is public Wi-Fi? Public Wi-Fi is like in the cafe, maybe McD, KFC. It is secure because they have the password and username and password, right? Username? Yeah, username and password. But anyone else on the same network can actually see your online activity. So if you use public Wi-Fi, if you really need to use public Wi-Fi, please do not log in your bank account or enter a credit card number while using the public Wi-Fi. Or if you really need to use it, you use a VPN. VPN is virtual private network, which it encrypts your activity so that others on the same network cannot easily see what you are doing. Okay, another one is firewall. Just like the authentication, firewall is like the main gate of your house, but in the networking system. So if you have Wi-Fi in your house, Wi-Fi, how do I, if you can imagine the network infrastructure, so it's like the gate before someone enters your Wi-Fi, your router. So it is the first line defense in helping to protect your data from against cyber attacks. Firewalls can help prevent unauthorized users from accessing your device, your websites, mail services, and other sources of information that can be accessed from the web. All right. So next. Another practice is to invest in security system. You should never use free antivirus because everything free comes with something. If you ever download installer from the internet, maybe Adobe what do we call it? Any Adobe installer, they actually give you free antivirus, and sometimes they give you another software that you can download and install it into your devices. It actually comes with something we didn't know what it is. So you should invest your money for antivirus to keep you safe. And another thing is install software updates. I believe sometimes we are lazy to install updates, or maybe we don't have the internet to install it. But why is software updates is important? Because it is to keep your security software, your security software, web browsers, and operating system updated with the latest protections. Because antivirus and anti-malware protections are frequently revised to target and respond to new threats, cyber threats. There are new viruses created every second in this world. So people in security need to always update their software to secure your device, to stop any new viruses to attack your device, to secure your system from being compromised. So if you see any logos on Windows update, new Windows update, you should update it because the update is important. It is mostly on the security. Okay, and then backup. Backup your files in case of data breach and malware attack. Cyber threats often take aim at your data. That's why it is the best practice to secure and backup files in case of data breach or malware attack. So for example, if you are doing your FYP, or if you are not doing your FYP too anytime, for example, we will never know when we can get attacked by the cyber criminals. So just imagine if you're doing your final year project and then your showcase is within maybe next week or next month, and suddenly you get ransomware. Anyone here ever heard of ransomware or WannaCry attack? Anyone? You can answer on the chat.
No, never.
Oh, so ransomware attack is it is one of the attack of DDoS. DDoS is denial of service. How do I say it? So they compromise your device. They get into your device and then they won't let you do anything. So you cannot shut down your device. You cannot do anything, and they will lock all your data, all your files in your computers, and the only way of you getting it is by paying them. Ransomware means you need to pay them to get your device back. But most people pay the attackers. But the truth is, from the back end, the attackers they don't have Yeah, that's right, Mashara. So even if you pay, they cannot give you back. How do I say it? Yeah. So they lock your folders or your devices using encryption. Encryption, which is randomly, how do I say, randomly processed. So the password for you to enter to get your device back is actually random. Even the attackers didn't know the password. So that's the virus did. So even if you pay, you cannot get your data back. So to avoid losing all your data, make sure you back up your files. So you are, even if you have FYP next week or next month, you can get your files and not being interrupted with the attacks. So you can store your important files on external hard disk or drive or even cloud, because you can still access your cloud without using your own device, right? So it's important to always back up your files. And then multi-factor authentication. Multi-factor authentication, I've mentioned it, I think, more than 2 times. It's a second step after entering your password verification to verify that it is you that who signed in into the account. All right. I have this one site that I would like to share with you guys. You can actually check if your account has been compromised with data breach. So for example, I have used one of my emails since forever. So I don't know what I did when I was young. And I've got one. Okay, so they said I point into data breaches found from this website. They detected 2 data breaches from Canva and also IM. IM is one of the photography site. Canva is actually compromised my data, my email address, my geographic locations, names, password, and username. So you can check yours. So how you want to stop them from compromise your data from the apps earlier, which so from Canva I can remove access. All right, so let's check again. Oh, they have compromised me since May 2019. So it's been a while. So if you get this, you should maybe before this you use the same password as what you use in Canva. So you should reset your password, get a new password, so that they cannot get into your Google account and things. So if you're safe, for example, my IUM email, there are no point found, no breaches accounts. So make sure you get this. And I think that's all from me. Sorry. That's all from me. Thank you. Can I pass this floor to Sister Shasha back?
All right, Alhamdulillah, a very nice sharing from a very great speaker. Thank you, Sister Hannah, for sharing the knowledge and information that are beneficial, especially about cybersecurity. I think there are a lot of points that have been made that we all were not aware of at first, and I hope that we all can benefit and take more precautions in the future. So now we will continue to the Q&A session without wasting time. If you have more questions to be asked to the speaker, then you can just drop your comments in the comment section. Or if you would prefer to ask it by unmuting your mic, you may also do that as well. So yeah, so do you have any questions? Any questions before we move on to the next interactive session? Anyone? So we have around 43 participants. Maishara Bohari is asking, what does ransomware look like?
What does ransomware look like? Let me search for you. Ransomware attack. One of ransomware attack is called WannaCry. Just now I mentioned WannaCry. Actually, there's a lot of cases in Malaysia. Early in 2019, I think. It is the, hold on. Ransomware is, it locks your account, your device from you. You cannot access your device at all, and it gets your data. What do you mean? What does somewhere look like? What kind of answer you expect from me? You want me to show you some images?
Yeah, to show how it look like, how the computer will have the captured what message it show. On the device.
Oh, okay. Since I don't have the experience, so I will just open some video. Sorry. Can you see my screen or no? Can you listen to the sound? No.
Nope. Nope.
Sorry, I need to setting on this sound and it will take a lot of time. So how it happened, I think I'll share with you the source of that later. Okay.
All right, sure. No problem. Okay, so we have the second question from Brother Iman. Hi, I'm Iman from KTU. I would like to know, what does cookies mean whenever I'm browsing websites, and is it ethical for websites always forcing its user to allow cookies?
All right. Since I'm a student too, and so I allow anybody else, if you have more knowledge on the question that is stated in the chat section. So from what I know is cookies is something like catchy information that it will keep, the website will keep your information while you are in the cookies in that website. So for example, what kind of we should check on. Wait, I think we can. Cookies actually something. I don't think it's ethical for forcing users to allow cookies. I always close the site if they force me to share my cookies with them. With some of the, I think whenever we want to do assignment, we will experience this, right? You will experience the cookies things. What does cookies mean? Cookies, just like I mentioned right just now, it's like catchy. It's catch your information while you are browsing the websites. Sometimes they list out what does the cookies in that site do. It's something like privacy notice earlier, but this is on the website. Privacy notice is usually on the organization business activity, but cookies is something like that for the website. What it collected from the users while they browsing their website, so they can collect your username, your activity, how many minutes you spend in their websites, what kind of topics you are interested in. They collect something like that for to for them to analyze what kind of content they should give you later. Something. If anyone else have any ideas, more ideas that you want to add on, feel free to unmute your mic. Okay.
Yeah, like Sister Hannah states, like the cookies they actually to save your information, like the password, the payment, so on. So it can analyze what you need to browse, and it will set your algorithm. Next, when you want to search something, it's much more easier. They can give you preference to the things that you have browsed before, and it will make your searching content become much more easier.
All right. Thank you, sisters. Okay, we have another question from Khadija Fuad. Do we have cyber insurance? Like, is there such a thing as a cyber insurance?
Cyber insurance. I don't think so. In Malaysia, we have cyber insurance. I'm not sure if for the organization if they have it for the company, but for an individual, I don't think we have it because cybersecurity is still growing in Malaysia. So, but Malaysia did give you some platform for you to contact them if you get attacked. MyCert and Cyber 999 is actually under Cybersecurity Malaysia. It is response teams by Cybersecurity Malaysia to handle any incident or malware research. So, for example, if you get the cyber attacks, this ransomware just now, and you don't know what to do, so you can contact Cyber 999 or MyCert Malaysia. This is what the government provide for us to assist us.
All right, I hope that answers Khadija's question. So, without further ado, I think that we might have more questions incoming, but let us save that for after the next session, which is the Kahoot session. All right, so let us move on to the Kahoot game session. But before that, I would like to remind everyone here to use your real name in the game soon. After you've keyed in the pin number for the game, so that we can acknowledge you for the prize giving later. So now I will pass the floor to the multimedia team to handle the Kahoot session.